I'm here with someone who's no stranger to our show, Mr. Mike Novogratz. Mike, welcome back to Crypto.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Mike, last time we spoke was in December last year, and you said that you weren't investing into this market because the market was crazy.
Well, it's crazy.
What do you think now?
I think we've pretty much bottomed. I'm not positively bottomed, but it feels like we have. I don't think we're going to race off. I think if Bitcoin takes that 6,800, you get a nice little bump. But I do think we're really building a nice bottom for the next move up. I think the next move up is going to need custody from a trusted source. It's going to need a little more regulatory clarity. You know, we won't take out 10,000 without those two things, because that's what brings the institutional investors in. But we're going to get there.
So what makes you think that we've bottomed? I mean, the bottom could be 5,000 or 4,000 or 3,000. You're experienced, and the reason why I'm asking is because I want to tap into your experience to say, what makes you think, what are you seeing?
You know, we've tested the downside a bunch, and we keep kind of bouncing off it. But I see slowly but surely more adoption. You know, there are more people at these conferences. There are more people working in this space. When I look at the private rounds, right, a lot of institutions are making their first foray by putting some money in a venture cap fund. It's a little safer, right? If you bought Bitcoin a month ago, 2 months ago, you feel pretty stupid right now if it's your first foray and you're working for the state of. Private deals are really well bid. We made a bunch of investments recently, and you know, it's not easy. You're fighting over the opportunity. And so there's this weird scenario where the privates are actually richer right now than what I'll call the publics, where actually the coins are trading.
There seems to be this whole underground market of these ICOs, which are filling up pretty quickly, the private rounds. Now, what do we need to do to get the institutional guys into the market?
It's time. It's the blockchains themselves are being built and they're getting more industrial. They're not there yet. But mostly it's the architecture around what institutional investors need. They need custody with a name that they can trust. They're just not going to buy into a Zoppo or even a Coinbase doing their own custody, right? The idea of custody is to separate. And so it's going to be, maybe it's a Fidelity, maybe it's an ICE, you know, some consortium, a Goldman Sachs. It's going to be some name that you've heard before. Nomura has announced they might get into it in a joint venture.
So you don't think it's going to be one of the existing names, Coinbase, BitGo?
No. Listen, I like BitGo. I like Zoppo. I feel really comfortable with my money there. If I'm at the state of Wisconsin, I'm not going to risk my job on a company called BitGo. And now, that doesn't mean those aren't real businesses and they'll continue to grow. Matter of fact, I think the opposite, they will continue to grow. Hedge funds and whatnot. But the real institutional guys, they are risk averse.
Is there such thing as institutional FOMO? Does the term institutional FOMO exist?
100% there is. It's not there yet. There'll be a tipping point. You know, the cutting edge pension funds and sovereign wealth funds will get in first, and then they'll all come coming in. It always happens.
There is a theory that says that we've been building bridges for institutions to climb on. Regulatory bridges. We've got some clarity as to what Bitcoin is and what Ethereum is.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're building the bridges. Do you think that we're talking 6 months, or do you think we're talking about 2 years?
Yeah, you know, I wish I knew exactly. I think it's somewhere between 6 months and 18 months. I said in that conference, I think Bitcoin 12 months from now will be over 10,000. So, you know, that's somewhere between 6 months and 18 months. I think within 12 months it is, you know, and so it's going to be the step function, right? We're going to take out 10,000, then we're going to go right to 20,000, because we're only going to take it out because you've got custody moving in, and that's going to reignite the animal spirits and the FOMO again.